Lyrics are insinuated by music, I feel. And I tend to listen to music that I believe is inspired in that way. Music that I feel like the lyrics came first, I can usually tell. And it doesn't turn my crank as much. I don't know why. To me, the blending of harmony and melody is, the magic of music is in there somewhere, the transcendent nature of it. And so, you know, when something goes da ba da, to me that insinuates language, perhaps a whole universe. So I let the lyrics be informed by the meter and the tempo and the tonal qualities of the music. When I was young, a young teenager, falling in love with 60s music and realizing that nothing better will ever occur. Face facts. When I was starting to realize that, I fell in love with the Beatles the most because they were firing on all pistons in terms of their presentation. You know, they had the brotherhood thing going on, you know, where they all just seemed to be from the same planet, and the songwriting, the arranging, the tonal quality of the records, but they had this incredible stage presence too. And I'm a big ham and love bigness on stage, and what they projected was wonderful. With the Beatles, I jump around. If everyone that I discovered was stayed on the turntable initially for 4 months, never left. I would go get my father's stereo speakers that were, you know, gargantuan, and put them on either side of my pillow in bed, you know, because I hadn't figured out that there were these things called headphones, you know, and I'd go to sleep every night with these speakers next to my bed and fall asleep to the White Album. And yeah, so all that Beatles stuff is all important to me, you know. The side B of the Yellow Submarine vinyl with the instrumental music is important to me. I went nuts over that. The Beach Boys I've only discovered more recently. Surf's Up last year was a mind blower, and you know, it was neat to find that period of them, or whatever, you know, something beyond Caroline No and, you know, Pet Sounds and the obligatory rock listening. When I first came out in 1983, I bought a 4-track, a cassette 4-track, and immediately got really good at getting, you know, fun old 60s tones, and, you know, so of course those were the bands that I was investigating as well, were the Beatles and the Kinks and the Beach Boys. No big surprises there, but you know, that's my passion.
I had heard his music probably in like 1996 or 1997, and it just really blew me away. And a lot of that stuff is the stuff that I ended up reissuing recently. And so we had been talking for years. I mean, when he first moved out here several years ago, we got together and co-wrote some songs, and we finally got around to doing a record together.
A manager friend of ours was introduced us and said we should write together, and we did indeed write a song that called Illumination, which hasn't wound up anywhere yet. We thought it was going to wind up on the record, but we just wound up not choosing it. We worked on our own projects for a little while, and then Linus got real serious about getting Franklin Castle Records up and running, and he contacted me about being on the label, which of course was like, yes. You know, that's what you come to LA to do.
Willie's very cool too, one of the most versatile musicians that I've ever known. I mean, you name a style and he can, you know, write it and perform it. Just a tremendous talent. We're very glad that he was able to shift bases from Minneapolis to LA. And you know, always grateful that he plays IPO.
With this upcoming record, I've been striving to make something of great beauty. The watchword on my previous records might have been to, you know, honor other musicians that I, you know, think are cool, or to make a record that was as diverse as I could make it, you know, that had everything in there, you know, sort of show off everything I could do. The watchword this time is beauty.
I think this record's a little bit different than his old stuff, but in a good way. And probably the most commercial record that Franklin Castle will be putting out to date, I think. Slip inside this dream of mine.
maybe have it come in on the second verse. I just hear whole notes in the choruses, you know, like. But that's maybe less of a featured thing. Right. I feel bad that we didn't make that arrangement ahead of time. Like right here, maybe. Or something like that. Yeah, the line is, I'm Mario Lanza's last concert in Spain. He's sort of a fake opera guy.
Yeah.
Pagliacci or something. I don't know, maybe it's a classical reference. Come on and play me. We're making a really cool record together, and we have a lot of similarities in the studio, and as much as that we're both singers, we're both songwriters, we're both guitarists, we're both cursory keyboardists, and well, actually Linus is a lot better than I am at keyboards, but so we take up a lot of the same space, but we also come from very different backgrounds in terms of what initially inspired us to get into music.
Probyn, you know, has been a singer-songwriter for many years, can play just about any instrument, writes very cool stuff, doesn't really perform his own stuff very often, maybe once every few years or so. You know, now he spends his time as a member of Wondermints, you know, playing their stuff, going out on the road with them, and, you know, being in Brian Wilson's ensemble, which is a very, you know, very cool opportunity for him. But yeah, he also does play in some of the bands who play IPO as well, and you know, he's just a great utility man. Just can fill in on any instrument if needed. And, I mean, how valuable is that? Very.
We're laying down the horns with Probyn from the Wondermints, and we're going to do strings later today. We have one more vocal track to do, I believe. A couple guest vocals. So we're on our tail end here. Another week we should be done. I believe, what day is today? It's like May. A year ago tomorrow was our first session. So this record's been a while in the making.
We just want to make good records, and when I started this label, it wasn't like, you know, I'm going to be the hugest label ever. It was like, I'm going to find all these amazing people that I play gigs with, and let's make these amazing records, you know. And so that's really what we're trying to do. Every record that we do is you know, we just put our heart and soul into it, and we do it in a vacuum. We don't think about what other people are going to think about it. We just try and make the best record we can, and hopefully, you know, the general public's tastes and what we do will collide, and you know, but we don't really think about that when we're making records.
That dirty old t-shirt never looked better than hung on the frame of my beautiful Heather. She's young, and I'm stung through all of the pain and all my denial. The arguments lasted for miles and miles. We went deep, deep into love. So wrong, maybe Heather, we weren't made to fly. We got lost, we were too quick to love. So I've been trying to not overplay things and to let the beauty of simplicity just overwhelm this record. Of course, that doesn't explain why there's 60 tracks of instruments on every song, but I think we'll still come out with something quite beautiful. That's what I want to say to people right now, is beautiful. Quick to love. If I were a steam train, you'd be the brakes. If I were Manhattan, you're a cabin upstate. long distance, long distance, directory assistant.